So this video is all about CSP, which is cloth, sanitary protection. This is a sanitary towel, but a cloth one, which basically means you can wash it and reuse it 1,010,000 times. They last for years and they are pretty. You can have like pretty filtered ones. You can have brush cotton. This is Wizard of Oz and rainbow. You can be a total dork and have the exploding TARDIS. I have Avengers. I have Harry Potter with matching pants. I have so much stuff. I love this stuff. Love it. I was told I was being like a QVC salesperson the other day, which I'm taking as a compliment, though I do not get paid that much. I'm not getting paid at all, actually. This is all stuff that I've purchased myself, and I love it so much. I wanted to share with you all, and it's been requested. So this is a bog standard pad. They are coming in different shapes, sizes, lengths, absorbencies, materials, different materials. Internal, like the core can be different materials. The tops can be different materials. This one here is minky, so it's kind of soft and furry, and you could like stick it on your face. I know it goes in your knickers, so that's odd, but it's clean. All you need to do is take your snappers, put it over the gusset of your knickers, and pop it into place. She says, I can't do it, looking at the camera. Ta-da! That's it. And then that's the gusset of your knickers that goes through here. And that is literally all there is to it. Some have one per snap, some will have two. Personally, if you can get a second snap, I would recommend it because different knickers have different width gussets and stuff. And I definitely think having a second one is helpful. With the thicker pads, they don't tend to move, but the smaller pads or the liners, similar to this, they can shift around in your pants a little bit. So I think having a second popper would be really helpful because it would actually hold it in place really, really well. So for the care of a sanitary pad, let's take this one. After you've used it, you can see no staining. You will rinse it thoroughly in cold water until the water pretty much runs clear. I know that sounds gross, but don't forget period blood is actually incredibly clean. Babies grow in that stuff. It's basically sterile blood as it comes out. It just seems a bit gross. But obviously this isn't for everyone, but I would definitely recommend it because pretty much looks stain free. And this was drenched. Sorry to be gross. It really was. You rinse it until it comes running clear, wring it out, stick it in a wet bag for storage for a day or so and throw them in the washing machine. 40-degree wash is way more than good enough. You only need a small amount of detergent like you do with cloth nappies. You do not want a chemical build-up. If you do get any staining on it, all you need to do is stick it out in the garden on the line. Rainwater will help not only break down build-up of residue of detergents left in your pads, but it can also break down some of the staining and the sun will naturally bleach them out. So pretty much that is all there is to it. You just dry it, boom. I tend to wash every other day when I'm using them, and that's literally it. That's it. It's like really, really, really simple. Some of these ones will dry really, really, really quickly, and these are the ones that do not have the pull, which is the hidden waterproof layer. The ones that do have the hidden waterproof layer, the bigger ones that are slightly thicker, take a little bit longer to dry, but a few hours. I mean, it really is not long at all. And I cannot praise these guys enough. One of my favourite things about them is there is no smell. I'm sorry to be gross, but we all know there is a period smell. Yeah? Rancid, horrible grossness. I assumed that was a normal part of periods. I really did. It's not. With these, there is no smell. And I genuinely thought that was like a sales pitch in a group that was selling. I was like, yeah, right, whatever. There is no smell. There is no smell. I love it. I love it. I love the fact there's no smell. You feel cleaner as well, which I know probably sounds weird, but you really, really do. The absorbency on these guys is absolutely amazing, and I think it's actually better than a lot of disposable pads. It doesn't sit on the top, it's gone. There is hardly any clots with this. I actually am amazed. I used to have very, very heavy clotted periods and there's hardly been any clots. And the other one that I really love that is really like, I kind of like say, no, you need to get these. If you get period pains, and I know this sounds mental, like how are the chemicals giving you pains? But honestly, as your body's absorbing it, I swear there's something going on because I've like had no period pains. Like at all. I think I had the odd grumble before my period came and that was it. And I kept waiting to be crippled because usually I am, especially when they're heavy. Sorry, the cat's coming through the window. And there was nothing. There was literally no pain. I am shocked. I am so shocked. And so I went on one of the groups that I'm in that does cloth pads. It's a chat group. And I said, is this like, am I going to be shocked next month and get really bad period pains or something? They're like, no, my period pains have almost gone. A lot of people said their cycles have actually lightened, so they're not as heavy as they were. I mean, it's just amazing. I definitely recommend giving them a try. So I'm now going to show you my various pads. So many pads, so many pads. Oh, so pretty and geeky and they're nice. And I realise you're all going to be like, ugh, you putting that in your face. They are clean, people, calm down. So I'm going to get on and show you everything I've got now. So here is my beautiful stash. Starting over here, these are the wet bags that I use. As I said, wring them out, you store them in a wet bag. This is the one I keep in my handbag. It has clean pads in to start with, switches over to dirty when needed. This is the one I keep most of my stuff in, hanging up in the bathroom. And if I take them away anyway, it's got a dry section and a wet section, which has got the waterproof. We have got Ruby's Place. Now these ones I've put my knickers on because I have got knickers that match the pads, and these are the only ones where that's happened, and I love them. She is my favourite. The lady that runs the page, I've got that upside down, is just wonderful. She's so thoughtful and so kind, and these are sort of customs because she released the fabrics and I requested that I got a pair of pants and I got a pad, and Alice has got pants as well, and Edith's got pants from her, and she's just absolutely fantastic, and the pads are great quality. They're really absorbent, and I like the bulbous bit at the end here because I, without being gross, am a front bleeder, so I find that this just is incredibly handy. And again, it's got the 2 snaps at the back as well, which just really helps. Obviously this is more of a liner, which is good because I only really want to wear it when I don't think I'm going to bleed at all, and therefore I will never ruin the Harry Potter awesomeness that is my pad. Next up is Eco Rainbow. Love the quality of these pads. They're not overly thick, but they are fantastically absorbent. I believe they've got the hidden layer of pull in most of these, if not all 3 of them. But I love the quality, I love the fabrics, I love the feel. They fit really well, the absorbency is really good, and even though it's not massively huge at the end, I didn't bleed past them, which I have done with some other pads. So I actually really like these. They are just fantastic and I would recommend them. Next up is TCS Eco. These are custom pads. I went on to their page and ordered them myself in chosen fabrics of Pandorica or Exploding TARDIS, whichever you want to call it, and Burnt Out Stars. I like the fun colouring underneath, and again they have the 2 poppers on them. I just think they're really good pads. Again, with the width at the front and the back just makes it slightly better if you're a heavier bleeder, and just really comfortable with this. This was my very first set back in the day when it was Dimple Bum and Dimple Muff. She's since changed to Dimple's Secret Garden, and they are really good in the heavy and the regular. I actually found these stayed really well. I opted to have the hidden pull layer, and it's fantastic. However, being a total novice and a total newbie, I did not opt for a second extra snap, and therefore the liners do migrate in my knickers. This, however, is probably more because I have got a massively huge bum and therefore my knickers are pretty gigantic. So it's probably not the pad's fault that they migrate. But if you do get them, I would recommend you getting the second snap so you have the option of tightening it up in case anyone else finds that they do sort of like walk about in your underwear, which isn't particularly ideal. My largest collection is here in both cotton topped and minky topped from Be Boho. Now, I like these because you can get 3 pads per month in a monthly, or I think it's just called monthlies, which is £17.80 or something around there. So you're under £20 to get 3 pads, which is fantastic. However, your options are quite limited. You can only choose them to be either over 10 inches or under 10 inches, or with an extra snap or one. You don't get to choose anything else bar one option, and it's a surprise pad. So I've got quite a collection of these from the last few months, and I do really like them, but I have found that they are a little bit too narrow. So for me, being a heavy bleeder, I cannot wear these on heavy cycle days because I've just bled straight past them, and I have bled through them because they don't have the waterproof layer. But for a regular day or a light day, they're fantastic. Again, gigantic arse, so I do need the length. It's definitely preferred, but they're really comfortable. They don't bunch up or slip or anything like that. It's just better if you're a lighter period or a regular period and not a heavy one. Same goes for the cotton. The stains come out really well. There's no marks on this whatsoever. Alice loves the Hello Kitty. And one of my ultimate favourite pads, I kind of wish it was a little bigger, is this one, because I don't know if you can see it. Sparkle Unicorn. Who does not want a sparkly unicorn in their knickers? I mean, come on, that is awesome. Or I have way more issues than I realised. Both of which are possible. Lastly, eBay cheapies. So if we start with these guys, I love these for night pads. They are the massive, big, huge night ones. They have got the silky underside, but I have found that it hasn't caused a problem at all. And again, even with the one snap, I want the length because I'm not moving massively in bed. So I find that absolutely brilliant for what I need, and I have got no complaints about them, and I would recommend people try these if you want to get some cheapies. These guys, however, are completely inappropriate for me personally. I'm not saying the pads themselves aren't good, but they are just way, way too thin. I just bleed straight past them and through them quite quickly, even with the booster pad. The bits that land on there is quite absorbent, but you'd have to be, I think, quite a slim girl with a light period, and then they'd be fantastic. Great value for money, easy to care for, all of that stuff, very comfortable. But if you're a bigger girl or you have heavier periods, I wouldn't recommend them because they're just not substantial enough, I'm afraid. So that's it. That is my huge collection. And